Ethiopian Airlines says it's committed to stopping the spread of COVID-19 across the continent, as today marks Africa Day and the branding of Africa as such. Tewolde GebreMariam is the chief executive of Ethiopian Airlines. Tewolde is with me now. It is always good to have you. Tewolde, how are you planning to restart your major services, what others are calling meaningful service? When do you hope that to begin?
Hi, Richard. It's a pleasure to see you again. And thank you for having me in your program, and thanks for the opportunity. As you know, the current global crisis is unprecedented, and Ethiopian Airlines has been highly affected. And more than 90% of our passenger flights have been suspended. And by the end of the fiscal year, our fiscal year, which ends in June, by June 30, we are expecting to lose around $1 billion worth of gross revenue. And back in March, early March, we have shifted our strategy from growth mode to survival mode. And since then, we have been focusing on cargo. And as you know, the cargo business has been booming. And as the largest cargo carrier in the continent with 10 777 freighters and 2 737 freighters, we have also increased our capacity. And we have been taking advantage of the booming cargo business. Right. And Tewolde, of course, it's very difficult.
Can I just jump? Can I jump in there? I know that you had doubts about the 737 Maxes that you'd ordered. You expected to reach a final agreement with Boeing on compensation for the one, of course, the tragic accident or crash. Will you take those other 737 Maxes, which frankly you don't need now and probably won't need for the foreseeable future?
Well, we may need those airplanes, but as you know, the Max has still a lot of problems, and we don't know when it's going to come back to fly. So we have not made that decision because we need to know more about the exact date of coming back to service. So we have not made that decision. But as far as requiring those narrow-body aircraft, we still have them in our business model.
Do you think, and you know, I will say this, you don't say it, this is from me, but if you look at the way South African Airways has been bailed out again, having gone into emergency administration, and now looks like it will come back in another guise. I mean, you're also state-owned, but you run on much more commercial principles. Isn't it going to be very much more difficult for airlines like yours to compete with those other airlines that have also been bailed out, but were never efficient to start with?
Yes, Richard, you have touched a very important point. You know, bailouts should not be used to put bad businesses on life support. I mean, bad businesses have to be managed the way it should. But unfortunately, that's what we are seeing all over the world. And therefore, we have decided to manage this unprecedented crisis with our own internal resources. We have not taken any bailout from any external sources. But unfortunately, we will have to deal with airlines being bailed out by their governments.
Tewolde, it is good to have you with us. I'm very grateful. Thank you. As always, keep well, friend. Keep well.